You have rights.
Recording in progress.
All right. Nice to meet everyone. I'm Charlie with Testfit. I'm going to get into a quick overview of the company, and then I'll get into a demo of the software, and then we can take it from there. So Testfit started in 2017, 5 years ago. Our co-founder, Clifton, who I'm sure many of you met on LinkedIn over the last couple of days, he is a trained architect and was working for a developer and got sick of configuring parking stalls manually. That's how Testfit started. That's why the post was kind of so amazing, is that, he set out to build a configurator to automate parking within his development company. And not only did he get promoted and start doing feasibility much faster with the automation, he realized there's a huge opportunity in the AEC world in feasibility, right? Because BIM and design software has been around for 40 years. We have AR and VR and all this different stuff, but nobody's focused on sort of what Prana had kind of mentioned earlier, right? Sort of the convergence of the Excel pro forma, the creation of the site plan, the cost estimating with the contractor. And so what we've done is we've set out to sort of marry all of these things, is to provide a quick algorithmic tool that automates the creation and manipulation of a building, but also includes the financial aspect, the actual site planning aspect, and then the cost estimating. Prana, you had asked earlier about integrations with CAD software and Revit, et cetera. The whole goal of Testfit is to get in, pick a site, put a building onto that site, do the analysis really quickly, and then get out of Testfit, right? Testfit only exists in the feasibility phase, right? So the short answer to your question is we are compatible with PDF to scale, DXF to be read into any CAD system, SketchUp, and Revit. And that is a huge differentiator of Testfit. Is not only is it super fast to iterate and to do feasibility, but it is integrated with AutoCAD, PDF, SketchUp, and Revit. So the whole goal is to get in, use the software to create the building and do the feasibility, and then export out to PDF if you need a presentation done, export out to AutoCAD or Revit if you need to continue the design, etc. Do you guys have architects in-house? Do you or are you hiring out the architects?
The principal architects for the projects are being hired, but we have an in-house team of architects also to manage the design with them.
Mm-hmm. Got it. The technology, real quick, that I'll be showing today, it's a little different than sort of your traditional CAD or BIM software. In BIM, what you're doing is you're starting from nothing, and then you're adding information to it from SD, DD, and CD, right? In Testfit, you're using a configurator that's almost the inverse of that process. So you pick a site, you pick the configurator, and then Testfit with its AI will automatically create the generic. Oh, could somebody mute their mic, please? Oh, thank you. Testfit will configure automatically the building and then allow you to make changes from there, right? And the reason I say this is because we're not just a black box AI tool that spits out a whole bunch of different options for you and allows you to choose the right one. So I don't know if any of you seen Iron Man, the Tony Stark suit. Is that it's very powerful technology that helps, automation, but it is still up to a human to be able to operate it and play developer and update the financial information, the setbacks, and all of that stuff. And I do like to highlight that. This is the last slide, and then I'll get into the demo. We have a whole bunch of different configurators: higher density buildings, podiums, wraps, surface park sites, lower density subdivision, townhomes, garden apartments, which are really popular here in America, everything to office as well as industrial. So I wanted to ask the question of what you guys would like to see in the demo in terms of building type, if you have any specifics.
Anything residential or group housing, because there is a very major residential group housing we are up with. So if you can show us which is having apartment dwellings or
Okay, yeah, got it. So like a podium or a wrap building. something like that?
Hmm.
Okay, that's great. Cool. So first, what I'll do is we can pick anywhere in the world. I'll show you that, but I will show you kind of what everybody saw on LinkedIn the other day is this Surface Park. So these are all of our configurators, but I'll just give you really quickly the Surface Park site that you saw on LinkedIn. So this is a very simple use case here, but I defined the site by drawing a polyline, and I have information down here. So I have the tabulation, which there's not much, but I have stalls, average, and then I have development. I have some costs in here because that's all being driven from the deals tab. So I have some land costs, some hard costs, et cetera. A lot of this is zeroed out, but I just wanted to kind of start really simple here, is that as I make changes to the site, or if I can shift click and add new points on here, Testfit is going to reconfigure the parking based on the new parameter that I've set. And so I did want to show that. And once I create a site, I can use these different configurators to start placing different components onto that site. You're muted, Prana, if you're asking a question. I'm not sure if
You're
you were.
saying this way we can place the blocks onto the site.
Yes, yeah. So this is I'm starting very generic here. This is our generic sort of mass-based configurator, and I can actually draw an outline if I want. Let's say I want to draw something different, and that will update as well, and I can start rotating. And then you'll notice on the bottom, every time I change the location of this, the revenue, the expenses,
The road
and
width,
tabulation.
and everything is getting adjusted automatically.
Yep, it's so this is what you saw. I can draw an offset here and everything. I can make this a retail, or I can recondition this to housing, park, etc. So I have some. This is a very generic configurator that I have. And then if I go back to some of my other configurators, I can come in here and pop in a donut, a Gerben, a Surface Park site, etc. So I just wanted to show the functionality in the most basic level, but I'm going to come back and start doing an actual project. So we also do have GIS data for everywhere in the world, and this does work in India as well. And so I can bring up a map if I want to start doing some specific site planning on an actual site. And you'll see again, the tabulation is blank, the development is blank, but as I start to develop a site, and I can use the parcel tool here. So we have parcel data as well. I can click in this site. I'll pick a higher density, let's say podium fill. I'll add in this site as well. And then in just a few seconds, what Testfit is doing is it's giving me a very good starting point. So there's a manual process and feasibility with the Excel and with the site plan and the box creation. What we're going to do here is we're going to work backwards, right? So we're going to let the software automate filling out this site. So what Testfit is doing is it's giving me the most efficient use of the podium fill typology on the site that I have selected. And you'll notice that now we're starting to get a lot of the information automatically from this site. Acreage, FAR, dwelling units. I think I heard you mention we have total numbers of units, beds, baths, a unit mix here of 1 beds to studios that's trying to hit a 25% unit mix. I'll get into more of that in a second. We have parking. We have expanded tabulation too, so we can look at every single unit, the size, the average per floor, net rentable square feet. We have some external, internal, and facade information as well. And then of course, every time I make changes, whether it's in 2D or in 3D to the site itself or the setbacks. So the setbacks here are default to set to 20. Right? And these are some default parameters in this configurator, but all I need to do here is start adjusting the setbacks either by clicking or by typing in a value. And you're going to see Testfit is reconfiguring the units as well as all of the tabulation and development automatically for me.
Okay.
So instead of doing this manually and checking the math later, we're giving you everything up front and allowing you to manipulate the building from there. And I have setbacks in 2D, I have setbacks in 3D, I have vertical setbacks as well as horizontal setbacks, so I can add in some vertical ones there. I can also delete these and put in, let's say, a 5-foot global setback and apply this to all the edges. I can turn on and off the surroundings as well. Any questions so far? I know that's kind of a lot.
I think the kind of machine it would take to run this software is heavy, or this runs on a basic laptop or a machine also?
Yep. Good. I can send you the system requirements. The short answer is it does not require. We developed Testfit in C, not C++ or anything else, because we wanted it to be super fast. It runs on Macs and PCs. I would say that when people see this technology, they get really excited, but they get scared because of its power. If you're doing BIM, you know, it requires you to understand your templates, your standards, get training, collaboration in the cloud, all that. Testfit, what you see is what you get. It does not require an expensive machine.
Okay, great.
So we have, okay, so going from down from the top. So zoning is very easy to manipulate, as I said. The deals tab is a starting point for you to put in your expected land costs, soft costs, revenue, whether or not you can charge for parking. And every time I make changes to this, you'll notice that the development is updating as well. So this is a good starting point for you to put in, you know, the regional expectations in terms of cost, and then you can save this out as, you know, a template to be used later. Do you think this would replace your pro forma, or you guys probably are going to start using Excel as well in addition to this, correct?
Yeah, I think for initial some projects we'll have to use both, but it will eventually replace. We'll have to talk to our products and other teams as well, but I think eventually it can replace that, definitely.
Yep. So going down the list, zoning, deal, and then units. So let's talk about units for a second. So Testfit has studios to 3 beds, and they're all at a weight of 25%. And that's how it starts, right? But again, macro to micro, place the building and then make adjustments to it. So I can come in here and zero out the 3 beds and maybe bring those up to the 1 beds and watch Testfit start reconfiguring based on that new parameter. We also have parking ratios per unit. So as I start increasing the studio parking, you're going to see the parking required is going to turn red. And then I have at the bottom some global parameters I can make to the units themselves. So I can change unit depth. I can turn on and off inside corners. I can bifurcate the corners and look at dead ends, balconies, width, depth, inset, or just turn those balconies off. Pretty simple parameters there. Do you use an average square footage for your units, or do you guys have specific dimensions that you like to use?
Yeah, there are some spaces like bedrooms, we have specific dimensions, but mostly we calculate the area of the unit in square foot only. But let's say for a master bedroom, we need at least 6 feet or something. So that there are minimum standards which we follow for our units. So my next question was like this only: if we fix upon the unit, like my 3-bedroom unit will be this, and I have the plan ready, and I have discussed with my seniors and everyone. So can that unit can be fitted into this scheme? Or
great question. Yep. Yeah. Great question. Yep. So right now we're doing sort of a either the weight or the average, right? And Testfit is solving for that. But what we can also do is come into the unit libraries here.
Okay.
So Testfit comes standard with a whole bunch of different libraries, and I can add or remove new units, and I can come in here and actually start adjusting the width, the depth, the entryway. I can add bays and balconies or remove them and start playing around with the dimensions, etc. I can also, as you said, bring in a 2D image and then start tracing over that to reflect that specific unit dimension. So that's how you would manage units. And then if I have that 2D image and I bring that in, I can start seeing this on the floor plan as well.
And if my balconies are free from FAR or some balconies are included into the FAR area, that it will take automatically.
Yep. So you basically just make, here's the balcony, so I can remove the balcony. And as I come back here, that balcony will be gone. So yeah, manual adjustments. This is called the kit of parts. It's the unit library. And this is where you can adjust specific units. And you can turn the opacity down to sort of manipulate that. And as you do that, they're going to change. And you can save this out for next time as well. So great question. So that's units. We have some changes we can make to the building itself as well. So I can look at bringing up podium levels. I can change the floor to floor height, the corridor width, the courtyard aspect ratio. Testfit in the background is also giving me different options with the AI that might work as well. And again, every time I'm making a change, you'll notice everything is updating as well, right? So you make the global changes to the model itself and it spits back out the accurate information to you. The garage, so we did kind of get into the parking a little bit in the beginning, but we can make changes to the garage as well. So I can define where the entrance is. I can change the parking axis with one click. I can look at how many levels above or below ground it is. Stall width, stall depth. Every time I make a change to one parameter, the whole entire parking garage is going to reconfigure, as you saw. We have a big focus here in the US, I'm sure around the world, with ADA, handicap accessibility parking, so we can be more granular with the types of parking stalls that we have, the width, the depth, the buffer width, and I can delete or add new ones and start playing around. So I can get really granular there. We have a lot of requests for electrical vehicle parking, and that's where you would kind of put that in here. Circulation as well, so how the cars are driving and turning within the garage. So I can change the circulation, I can change the drive aisle turn radius, dead end buffers, I can turn on and off columns, I can turn the ramp on and off, turn the entrance on, etc. So there's a lot of functionality built into the parking. Then verticals. So we have automatically Testfit is putting in stairs and elevators. I can click and I can drag these around. I can remove them. I can add new ones. So again, let Testfit create the site for you as a good starting point, and then manipulate from there as you start playing developer and making changes as well. So I can start deleting these go back. I can start deleting these core elements if I want. And then do you guys do probably sort of mixed use? You have some apartments and maybe some retail or some amenity spaces in your buildings?
Yes.
So how we would manage this is with this amenity space here. So this is being created automatically, as is everything in Testfit. I can move this around and everything's going to change, of course, as I do that. I can also maybe single load this.
Okay.
And make it, let's say, 3,000 instead of 10,000. And I can recondition this as retail or as a hotel or as something different.
Or a club,
I can
club building for that residential area.
So this is a generic space that cuts out, some of the units, etc. I can also add new spaces and label this as amenity, or let's see, maybe a deck, right? So I have a roof deck here. I can manipulate this in 3D as well. If I come around, I can click and I can drag this up and place it where I want, and maybe make this some sort of a void to cut out that. And that's going to update your tabulation and automatically show up here in the bottom. This is sort of the quick and dirty, and I did that really quickly. I could also just start building new sites just by clicking around, and I could show you donuts, that's going to be pretty big here, right? But surface park sites, podium fills, towers, and I can really quickly start manipulating, different configurations of buildings. Do you do only multifamily, or do you do some office or industrial at all, or just multifamily?
Not mostly, mostly multifamily and the group housings only. Sometimes we do plotted developments also, which are further sold to different individual owners, basically. So,
Got it.
Uh,
Got it.
Hi, I'm Snigdha. I have a
I,
Hi, I have a small question. Like for example, for plotted, like Pranav mentioned, so we have 4% we give it to commercial. We have 10% to community. We have that it is a, you can say, plotted development mandates norms which we have. So if we draw a site, and do we need to feed in all the, like for 4% and 10%, and the site will come out? We can work out that.
so for the site, so the first step of Testfit is to create the site itself, right? So step one, create the site. Step two, pick the building you want to put on that site. Step three, manipulate that building to get it the most efficient. The ways that we can pick a site are by drawing a boundary, which I just did. We can use meets and bounds as well. So I can come in here and start putting in specific longitudes, latitudes, etc. And we have, the parcel data, which is finding the parcels as well. So this is as specific as you could get. I'm just going to put in a random configuration here. It is up to you to be developer and to understand the setbacks in the zoning and some of the parameters of that site. We don't bring in local zoning codes, etc., related to the site. So it's a good mix of using the software to automate what it can, but allowing you to be that expert in your local market as well.
Okay, so we have to know the things before working on it, right?
And if there was a way for Testfit to organize and bring in and integrate data from around the world, just can't figure out if that's even possible. And so right now the goal is to allow you to work with the software instead of the software making decisions for you. It's going to automate sort of that manual process of creation, but force you to still be an expert in your local market. Yeah. We also, one last thing I'll show you is we have an easement. So if you have a non-buildable area, like a stream or some power lines or something, I can very quickly create a shape here and start pushing it into there and rotating this as well. And that does show you some of the, some of the AI technology. I see you both smiling there a little bit.
Yeah, it's very impressive actually.
Yeah.
So the whole goal, so the whole goal is to, again, let's go back to this site. We want you to use Testfit to create a starting point, right? One click, pick the site, start. And then from there, start making adjustments to the building, to the garage, to the verticals, right? To the units, right? And then once you have a really good place, again, you can export this out to PDF. You can bring it into AutoCAD. You can take the 3D geometry and bring it into Revit. So Testfit is not sort of the be all end all feasibility tool. It's just for you to get in and then get out and get on with exploration of the sites.
So this maps which you are using is the data from Google Earth, or is that separate maps, this software?
It's a good question. So so the maps come from a different company from Google. It's called Mapbox is the partner. Mapbox. We bring in the data there, and we do have satellite data, and we do have topo lines as a reference right now. We don't do actual site grading inside of Testfit, but we can give you the reference of the lines from 2 to
We'll have to check if they have data for Gurgaon here in India.
So they will. So we do have data for everywhere in the world in regards to the GIS, right? So you will be able to see
Maybe it won't
2D
pick the site
map.
automatically. We'll have to trace the site.
You will have, so yeah, that's where I'm going. So yeah, so in regards to picking a site, this might not be available
yeah,
inside of India. So,
got it. Got it.
You're smart. You're smart. So yeah, what is,
Not that-
so what we do is we provide a 3-week trial for new users. If you want to test the software, I guess the next step would be for you to let me know if or who would like to try it. And we do provide free live training sessions throughout the trial if you guys have any questions as well.
I think you have answered most of our questions, and this software works like magic. I'll be saving this video. It's a good thing we saved it. We saved this video, and we can show it to most of the decision makers here.
I
And,
think we need to practice. I think when we start doing it, I think then we will have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Don't be shy. So yeah. Prana, after this, I'll ask you to send me the email addresses and the names of the people who would like the trial.
Sure.
And then the plan would be, we have a knowledge base and some resources, online. Get in the Testfit yourselves, start going through the process of creating a site and putting a building on and doing the analysis. And then when you have questions, what would be really helpful, I think, for you would be bring in an old site that you've done feasibility on. We can trace over it inside of Testfit, and we can walk you through live how to change and manipulate the setbacks in the building, et cetera. That would be the
Then
most
we
helpful.
will be able to understand. Right.
Right.
So the first time you heard of Testfit was on LinkedIn, right? Watching the parking
Yes.
configurator.
Yes.
I said in my email, we got 24,000 likes on the post and 500 demo requests in 2 days. And that was during Thanksgiving. So we are busy.
In 2 days, into 500 demo requests into it. That's why you were
Never
busy.
seen anything like it. Yeah.
That's why your calendar was there were no available slots on your calendar.
Yeah, and we had to open it up, and we're working longer hours, and it's totally fine. We're thrilled to talk to people from India and around the world, and we're happy to support your trial. So Prana, let's work offline via email to get the trial set up and go from there.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your session. Thank you so much for your time. This it's a wonderful software, and let's hope we definitely work together.
Yep, we're here to support you as you get into the trial. So yeah, we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye.